glad you're saved this morning, give him a praise this morning. Give him a praise, a thank offering. Hallelujah. It's time to give him glory. I said it's time to give him glory.
Yes, yes.
We thank you, Lord. We praise you, Lord. You are the King of Kings. Hallelujah.
Praise God, praise.
Hallelujah. With a crown of thorns, he became a king forever. With a crown of thorns, you became a king forever. It is finished now. Hallelujah. You became a king forever. Oh, with a crown of thorns, oh, you became a king forever. That saved me. That saved me. Yes, he did. And rescued me. Oh, he rescued me. Just a moment there. Oh, he set me free. I give you glory, glory. I give you glory, glory. I give you glory, glory. Jesus. I give you glory, glory. Yes, I do. I give you glory, glory. I give you glory, glory. Oh, Jesus. We praise you, Lord. Hallelujah. 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 Lord, we worship. We thank you, Lord, and we praise you for all you've done for us this year, oh God, and all you plan to do for us in the future.
Praise God, praise.
We thank you, Lord. We thank you. Clothe me in white, anoint me with oil, let me enter the courts of my Lord with a new song of praise on my lips. Oh, and as I stand, Jesus, anoint me again. Oh, let me sit at the feet of my Lord. That's where I belong. Where I belong. Let's sing that again. Lord, clothe me in white. Clothe me in white. In your righteousness. Anoint me with oil. Hallelujah. Let me enter the courts of my Lord. With a new song. With a new song of praise on my lips. And as I stand. Anoint me again. Let me sit at the feet of my Lord, where I belong. Singing all hail to Jesus. All hail to Him. All hail to Jesus. He's my Lord, my Lord. Jesus, Jesus. Oh, all hail to Jesus. All hail to Him. All hail to Jesus, my Lord. Come on, one more time. Lift up His name this morning. All hail to Jesus. All hail to Jesus. All hail to Him. All hail to Jesus. He's my Lord. My Lord. Jesus. What a beautiful name. Son of God, Son of Man. I believe in the Lamb that was slain. My joy and peace. Joy and peace. Strength and hope. He's the grace that drives all fear away. Oh, my Jesus. What a beautiful name. Beautiful name. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, what a beautiful name. What a beautiful name. Son of God, He's the Son of Man, Lamb that was slain. Joy and peace, He's my strength. And hope, grace that drives all fear away. Oh, Jesus, what a beautiful name. Come on, let's sing it now. Oh, Jesus. Come on, one more time. Jesus. Jesus. Hallelujah. What a beautiful name. Rescue my soul. Oh, rescue my
You're listening to WXPS LP 92.1 FM in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into the Saturday version of Radiothon. It's 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be right back with you in just a moment. To get started, right now, here are the Taylor Brothers.
Down through the years, I've had a lot of friends. They'd be there for a while, but they were gone again. Since I've met this man, the one they call Jesus, there's one thing I'm sure of: He will never leave us. He's been a long time friend, stood right by my side, helped me through some bad days, brought me through the darkest night. He's been there through the years, he'll be there till the end. Ask me why I love him, why I live my life for him. Long time friend. All down through the years, he's been a friend like no other. He forgave me of my sin. He became my elder brother, stands by me in the storm, protects me in the fire. I'm holding on to him, holding on with all my might. He's been a long time friend, stood right by my side, helped me through some bad days, brought me through the darkest night. He's been there through the years, he'll be there till the end. Ask me why I love him, why I live my life for him. Long time friend. been a long time friend, stood right by my side, helped me through some bad days, brought me through the darkest night. He's been there through the years, be there till the end. Ask me why I love him, why I live my life for him. He's been a long time friend, stood right by my side, helped me through some bad days, brought me through the darkest night. He's been there through the years, he'll be there till the end. Ask me why I love him, why I live my life for him. Down through the years, I've had a lot of friends, they'd be there for a while, but they were gone again. Since I've met this man, the one they call Jesus, there's one thing I'm sure of, he will never leave us. He's been a long time friend. Lord, you've been a long time friend.
The Taylor Brothers and Longtime Friend on FM 92.1 WXPS. That is from their brand new album called Trust in the Lord. And I haven't gotten to listen to that as much as I want to, but I have played it, and that's my favorite. That one really stands out. That song really stands out. It's a great CD, but that's my favorite, and so I wanted to share that with you this morning. As we get started on the Radiothon, Nikki's here with me, and we are expecting a great 2 hours because we need to raise some more money today. And as you're getting up and getting going, I know it's a cloudy Saturday. The rain has returned. Yesterday morning, we got out of the car, and it was raining, and I said, oh, rain, excuse me, rain, I've missed you so much. We went a day or two without seeing you. So the rain has returned. I know that makes it harder on people. It affects, I guess it's supposed to be, cloudy and raining tomorrow morning too, probably, as far as I know.
The last I checked.
Yeah, so that, I always worry about that affecting church attendance and so forth. But get up and get going this morning. You've got 2 hours to come down here and see us at the bookstore. Nikki will tell you about that in just a moment. Or call in, go to the website, text in, let us know you're going to mail something in, whatever the case may be. But we need to hear from you. This is March Radiothon. It is also in celebration of the 4-year anniversary of this radio station being on the air. And this is our last live segment to do. We were here Thursday for a couple of hours, Friday for a couple of hours, and now a couple of hours this morning. So we need to hear from you. So tell them, please, how to get in touch with us.
Okay, you can give by going to our website, WXPSFM.com, and click on the donate link. You can call us at 864-327-8725. If no one answers, just leave your name and phone number, and we will call you back, and then we can get your credit or debit card information to process. You can text us at 864-507-9382, and when you text the word give, GIVE, to that number, and it will prompt you for your credit or debit card information. You can mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304. But if you're going to do that, let us know what you're sending so we can include it in today's totals. Or you can stop by. We're at 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg. We don't have anyone in the bookstore right now, but we do have the doorbell with us, so that if you ring it, we know that you're down there, and we can come down and get your donation and let you get a piece of cake.
Yeah, don't miss out on the free cake, because it's going home with us at noon today. We can't waste it, so we'd love for you to come enjoy it, though. So there's plenty left, so come by and do that, even if you can't donate today. But if you can donate, we need your help very, very much. We have reached our $1,600 goal in radio. We reached that the first day, right? Was it during the noon hour or the 5 p.m. hour?
It was quickly.
It was the first day, and we're so thankful for that. and we have $208 in the building fund. But our goal there, our need there, not just a goal, not just something we'd like to do, but a genuine need, is to get $2,000 in that building fund. 10% of the way there, so we've got a ways to go, folks. We really, really need your help today if you've not given already. I'm going to say it once more. It's not the last time I'll say it this morning, probably, but it's repetitious, I know. But we really need to hear from you folks in Spartanburg that are enjoying and being blessed by this radio station. We need to know that you're out there, not only with a phone call every now and then or running into you at some of the events we attend and you telling us that you listen, but we really need your financial help, just to be blunt about it. We need you to say, I'm going to be a part of this radio outreach and keep it on the air. Name some of the expenses. I know the $1,600 is covered, but just to let folks know why we raised the $1,600, can you go through that briefly? And then I want to add, right before you do that, this has been primarily people in the church that have given the majority of this $1,600, and the rest of it has been given by people that don't even live here in Spartanburg. They listen or watch online, and they've made up the difference to get us to that $1,600 mark. So as we tell you why we raise that money every month, I want you to keep in mind, if you've not yet given, whether you're in Spartanburg or not, we ask you, would you give into the building fund instead, because part of our expenses that's not included in the $1,600 is being able to be in this building. There's a little bit in that $1,600 that accounts for our rent, a small portion of our rent. But all the renovation expenses we've incurred that we're still paying on, nothing is included on that in that $1,600 goal for radio. That's why we have a $2,000 building fund goal. So if you didn't participate in radio, we really need you to help out in the building fund this morning. But tell them, to give them a little more details about why we're raising this money, especially the $1,600.
All right, so we have to rent a space on a tower for the antenna for every month, and that's a big chunk of that.
About a third of it.
Yes, of that expense. And then there's other expenses, like we have power both here at the studio as well as the at the site where the antenna is, because there's equipment in both places being ran. We have internet at both locations, and as we've said before, the internet that's used by business costs more than what it would in a residential. So if you think what your internet costs, ours is quite a significant amount more. But we have to have internet in both locations because that's how the devices communicate with each other. What's here and what's there, they send each other information over the internet. And so we have internet in both locations. We have a phone number we have two phone lines that are exclusively used by the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the church number. The church number is paid for by the church, but the two lines in the studio are paid for in these expenses. Mm-hmm. We have just a lot of other little odds and ends.
Internet-related expenses for
yes.
people that are listening or watching
many of
online.
those are very insignificant, but the majority of our expenses do relate to the FM station. And so we've said before, when we get all these donations from people who are listening over the internet, we're very thankful and grateful for that. But really, the cost of the station coming to them is very minimum. But the cost of the station coming to Spartanburg over 92.1 FM is what the bulk of our cost is. And therefore, it really should be the people in Spartanburg who are stepping up and helping make it possible for it to reach their ears, to reach the people here in Spartanburg. Because if it wasn't for the FM, our expenses would just, we had this station over the internet for years. We didn't do as much programming on it. We didn't devote as much time to it, but we had it over the internet for years before we finally applied for the FM status. And
as soon as we went on the air on FM, we enhanced the programming greatly.
Yes.
And so it was
and our
a lot better over the
greatly.
internet. Yeah. So it goes back, just like you're saying, to really it needs to be you folks here in Spartanburg that are listening on FM. You need to be the key supporters of this radio station.
Right. We've been on the air for 4 years, and we've ran into many people who say they love the station or listen to the station. We're very thankful for that. And we've had a few who are in Spartanburg who have supported the station, some here and there, others very regularly, but there's still, I mean, that's a small. It's really a handful that has done that, and so to be on the station for 4 years and only have a handful that have backed it financially, that doesn't say a lot. And so we won't, or not a lot.
Actually,
that's good.
it does say a lot.
But it don't say a lot
it's
of
not
good
good what it
things.
says.
So we want the people in Spartanburg who are listening to the station to step up and let us know that you're there, you're supporting us, that you too understand how important it is to get the gospel out there. If you think what we say is important enough to be heard, then support it. If it's not, if it's fine if we're here and fine if we're not, then okay, I guess you don't have to do anything. But if you think that what we're doing is important, and I pray that you do, that you understand the importance of what we're doing, then be a part of it financially. Back it up. Do something. And we're not asking that you send $1,000 or a couple of $100 even. I mean, if God lays it on your heart, then by all means do that. But we're saying just do something. If you would just do, I said this multiple times, if every one of our listeners would just do $10, we would go way beyond our goal. And how beautiful and wonderful that would be. Let's do that. Let's see people rise up and decide to give and be a part of it. And the church shouldn't always have to just get by. The ministries of God should not have to just get by.
Right.
Let's see the ministries of God exceed and do something great. So be a part of that.
Yeah, and what little bit of time we have left, whatever it is. And what I mean by that is I believe the rapture of the church could happen at any moment. And judging by the signs of the times and all that's going on, that means our time, I believe, is very limited. But it also means that the church stepping up, and because of all that's wrong in this country and in the world today, the church stepping up and saying something about it and giving people a biblical perspective on it is so important, so crucial today. And I believe we're stepping up and doing that on this radio station. Let me share this story right quick. I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. Most people probably didn't hear me say it before. So I'm going to say it again because I've never talked about it that much, just a time or two on Radiothon. And by the way, if you're calling our number right now, we need you to leave us a voicemail and we will call you back. We appreciate the phone call, but we don't have anybody, unfortunately, answering the phone today except us, so we will call you right back if you would just leave us a voicemail. My story is this. There was a man here in Spartanburg, a friend of ours, who has attempted to have a gospel station in Spartanburg before, and I remember him telling me that he had talked to a pastor here in Spartanburg, and that pastor is now passed on. But this pastor also was involved in media ministry in various ways. He had a television program and things of that nature. And he said the pastor told him that a gospel station in Spartanburg, he said, it'll never work. Now, that was a negative statement. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with just quitting and saying, well, it'll never work, because I tell you the reason. I don't know if the pastor realized this or not, and the gentleman he was speaking to, I don't know if he realized it or not, but I believe I'm right in saying this. The reason that it, quote unquote, won't work is because of the spiritual atmosphere in Spartanburg. It's not because there's not money for people to support it. It's not because that there are not people here who want to hear gospel programming and things of that nature, but it's because of the spiritual atmosphere, which even among people who do want to hear gospel programming and appreciate what we do over this radio station, they simply don't understand the need, the calling to step up and be a part of something like this. They just don't get it. Now, there's some exceptions to that, thank the Lord. And some of those exceptions have helped us out from time to time here in Spartanburg, and we greatly appreciate it. We've got a lady in Spartanburg, for example, who hasn't ever attended our church. We ran into her again in public recently. It's funny how much we run into her. Usually it's when we're eating, and she's eating out as well. And she's going to come visit with us sometime, and we're really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, she's really been supporting the radio station on a regular basis. almost every month, and we greatly, greatly appreciate that. But people like her, unfortunately, are few and far between. So I don't know what the pastor had in mind when he made that statement, it'll never work in Spartanburg. I don't know what he was I think he was going on his experience, because like I say, he was involved in media ministry. But I'm not ready to quit and shake the dust off my feet and say it's not going to work in Spartanburg, even though it's been a challenging 4 years of this radio station being on the air, and it's primarily always been supported by people who do attend this church, and that's not right. We're looking for things to get better. We're looking for more people to step up and give and do what they are supposed to do. But I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet, because I know the need is there so greatly. The very fact that it's not being supported in Spartanburg like it needs to be speaks to the need, that there is a need. Now, if it gets to the point to where nobody's supporting it and we just can't do it, then guess what will happen? You'll turn on 92.1 FM one day and it'll be static, or you'll hear another station bleeding through that's located somewhere else, or maybe even something else in Spartanburg taking over this frequency. Folks, we need your help. I don't know how else to express it and tell you that we're not crying wolf, we're not blowing smoke or whatever, and just saying that we'd like to have some financial blessings when they're really not needed, but they really are needed. You're looking at the screen right now if you're watching me online, and there's $208 in the building fund, and it doesn't show it on the screen right now, but there's a $2,000 building fund goal. We're 10% of the way there, and we've been doing this since Thursday, again this month. Most months, unless somebody, and we've had a man in particular, I'm thinking of him, a time or two, he's given $1,000, and it's gone into the building fund. But other than gifts like that in the building fund from an individual or two that will give a large amount, we usually come out with, what do we usually come out with in the building fund? About $50 or $100 or $200, something along those lines?
It's been very low, yes.
Yeah, so very low compared to the $2,000 that's needed. It can't continue that way. And I don't feel that it's inappropriate whatsoever to come to you over the air and say we need for the listeners to support the building fund as well as the people who come to church here. Because this building, literally 1/4 of this building space is used for a sanctuary. The other parts are used, and some of it is for people who actually attend here, like a nursery, for example. I know the nursery doesn't do you any good, who are just listeners and viewers and don't come to church here. But there's a lot of space that's utilized in this building to reach out to Spartanburg, whether you come to Truth Chapel or not. And that includes the bookstore, the prayer room, this room we're in right now doing the radio broadcast. This room is larger than what you're seeing. There's space to make television programs that maybe we'll have some time this morning to talk more about that than we have over the last few days. So with the building being utilized for media ministry and to reach out to people who can stop by during the week and check out the bookstore, stop by and pray or whatever, but not come into church here, I don't feel like it's inappropriate to say, hey, listeners and viewers, we need you to be a part of this.
And plus, as we pointed out, it's mostly the church people who are supporting the radio station.
That's right.
And if it wasn't for the radio station, I'm sure they would put their support towards the building. And so, if the radio listeners would step up and do what they are supposed to do with supporting the radio, then that would allow our church people to do otherwise and help with the building.
Right, because here's what happens. Our church people are so faithful with their giving. They do it even before the radio fund gets started for the most part. They tell us on the Wednesday night before or sometime even prior to that they're going to give into the radio fund. So they
always say, you put it wherever it needs to be, but they know radio is our first goal, so they put it there.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The first slot that we try to fill in is the radio goal, and so their money goes into that. And then I'm afraid that listeners and viewers say, well, they've met the radio goal. This is a radiothon, so everything's pretty much done, and that simply is not the case. Maybe we need to start putting the faithful givers of Truth Chapel, start putting their money into the building fund first, and maybe our listeners maybe that'll help you realize that even though today that $1,600 goal has been met, the $2,000 goal is far from being met in the building fund, and that's where we need you, folks. You're supporting, even if it goes into the building fund, you're supporting keeping this radio station on the air for another month, because we got to have a building to broadcast from. And so I'm just going to ask you, step up and do it. If you're watching on social media right now, and that would be Facebook or Twitter and Periscope or YouTube, if you're listening on FM 92.1, we need you, no matter who you are, no matter where you're located. We need you to be a part of this. Let's make that phone ring. Now, we did get a call a moment ago, and we need to go to a song in just a second so we can call that person back. I'm hoping they left a voicemail. But give the contact information once again, please.
Right. You can go online to WXPSFM.com and click on the donate link. It will take you safely and securely through PayPal. You can use your credit or debit card information there. You can give us a call at 864-327-8725. And if you don't get an answer, just leave your name and phone number, because we are short-staffed today, and we'll call you back. And we'll be able to take your credit or debit card information over the phone. You can also text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 864-507-9382. And when you text the word GIVE, it will prompt you for your credit or debit card information, and you can give that way. You can also mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. But if you're going to do that, please let us know what you're sending so we can include it in today's totals. Or you can stop by. We're at 250 North Church Street. But again, as I said, we're short-staffed today, so the bookstore is actually locked, but we have the doorbell with us. So if you ring the doorbell, we'll know that you're down there, and we can come down and get your donation and let you get a piece of cake. So let us know.
All right, we need to hear from you. Let us know right now what it is you're going to do to be a part of this radiothon, and thank you.
Even a hill called Mount Calvary, I believe whatever the cost, and when time it has surrendered, it is no more, I'll still cling to the old rugged cross. Can't see your holy face and your throne in heaven above. It seems so far away, though I can't touch your nail-scarred hands. I have a deep, unspeakable joy that makes my faith to stand. Lord, I believe in you. I'll always believe in you. Though I can't see you with my eyes, deep in my heart, your presence I find. Lord, I believe in you, and I'll keep my trust in you. Let this whole world say what they may, no one can take this joy away. Lord, I believe. chosen one. You are the one and only true way to the Father's heart. You died for all sin, then you rose to live again, conquering death, hell, and the grave, so that I might live. Oh Lord, I believe in you. I'll always believe in you. Though I can't see you with my eyes, deep in my heart, your presence I find. Lord, I believe in you, and I'll keep my trust in you. Let this whole world say what they may, no one can take this joy away. Lord, I believe in you. I'll always believe in you. Although I can't see you with my eyes, deep in my heart, your presence I find. Lord, I believe in you, and I'll keep my trust in you. Let this whole world say what they may, no one can take this joy away. Lord, I believe. Lord, I believe. Lord, I believe.
That's Joseph Larson, Lord, I Believe in You. That's another cut from his brand new CD called Give Me Jesus. And whatever music we get to do this morning, we're going to highlight his CD and the Taylor Brothers brand new CD as well, because that's two good ones that I hope we'll get those in the bookstore soon. We don't have them yet, but I do have personal copies, and that's why we're able to play them here. But those are two great CDs to add to your collection. I highly recommend it. And while I'm recommending things, I also recommend Pastor Ronnie Mitchum's brand new book, which I don't have yet either. We're going to be getting us a copy of that. But it's called The Cost of Colors, and Pastor Ronnie is the one who had to take some people off of his football team a year or two ago because they would not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Even though he had discussed that with them and told them not to kneel, they did anyway. And it created quite a controversy. He has a book now about that, and we're going to be getting that in our bookstore as well, I hope. But I encourage you to go ahead and get a copy. Go to Amazon.com and search for Ronnie Mitchum. His last name is Mitchem, and get you a copy of that. And I know you'll be blessed and encouraged by it. And also, we were supposed to have Pastor Ronnie at our church earlier this month, and there was a conflict there that didn't work out, but we're going to be rescheduling that, I hope, soon, and getting him here in person. One other product I want to promote that I'm not going to do it right this minute, but I'm just going to say it so you can remind me. I want to talk about Nikki's T-shirts, especially the Sound of Truth Radio T-shirt and the one that I'm wearing right now that we'll talk about in a minute. But in the meantime, before I do that, we've got some more donations to announce. And we have Joanne giving $20. We have Mike giving $10. And we have Ronnie giving $5. And that brings our building fund total, as you can see there on your screen, if you're watching, brings it to $243 now in the building fund. So that is about an eighth of the way there now toward our goal of $2,000 in the building fund. If we had a goal of 1,000, we'd be about a quarter of the way there, so we're about an eighth of the way there since we're trying to raise 2,000. So thank you, Miss Joanne. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ronnie, very, very much for giving in this radiothon. I want to say this about Ronnie. This is his second gift in the radiothon. He's not the only one who's done that. We had another person or two, several actually, who have given multiple times within this radiothon. But I bring up Ronnie especially, not only because he gave just now, but this man lives in New Mexico. And I'm just impressed with somebody who understands what we're doing and appreciates the message of the cross. And I'm sure he's probably an SBN supporter as well. But he's given a second time now in this radiothon. And what's different and what's special about Brother Ronnie is not only that he is in New Mexico and giving to this outreach in Spartanburg, South Carolina, but he calls the first of the month. He leaves a voicemail whether radiothon has started or not. He's kind of like the folks here at our church. He says, I'm calling in to put a gift on my credit card. Call me back. And we do that. He gives us his credit card information, tells us what to put on it. And that's what I call being faithful. And so even if we don't get on the radio and say, hey, guess what? We're doing radiothon again. We've got a need. He's going to give anyway.
Right.
And that's greatly, greatly appreciated. So, again, our total now is $243 in the building fund. So we're moving on up, as the Jeffersons used to say. I hope that's not too secular to throw that in. But we're at $1,843 in the total right now. We need to hear from you. Before we talk about these T-shirts and about anything else you want to talk about, would you give the contact information again, please?
You can go to WXPS-FM and click on the donate link. It will take you safely and securely through PayPal. You can use your credit or debit card to donate that way. You can also give us a call at 864-327-8725. We are short-staffed today, so if you just leave your name and your phone number, we'll call you back, and we can take your credit or debit card information over the phone. Again, that's 864-327-8725. Or you can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 864-507-9382. When you text the word GIVE to that number, it will prompt you for your credit or debit card information. And after you do it the first time, it's even easier. The next time, you just type in the amount that you want to give, and you're finished. It's an easy and great tool, I believe, to have. You can also mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. But if you're going to do that, also let us know what you're sending so we can include it in today's totals. Or you can stop by. We are at 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg. But again, we are short-staffed, so ring the doorbell, and so we can come down and open the door and let you in and to give your donation.
Right. And not only are we short-staffed today, but this program was scheduled to last till noon, and it will. But right at noon, we really do have to leave because we have another obligation, another place we've got to be right after noon. So I'd hope the bookstore would be open until 2 p.m. today, but it's only going to be open until noon because we're going to have to head out right as soon as we get off the air. So if you want to come, get a free piece of cake to celebrate the radio station's anniversary, or come to shop, or come to donate, we need to see you between now and noon, and we will have to leave promptly at noon. So come on out now. If you would like to come on out to the bookstore, we'd love to see you. Just ring that doorbell right to the left of the door, and we'll see it here, and somebody will come down and meet and greet you. So, again, we just thank everybody for what you've done so far, and we're just needing some more folks to say, hey, I'm going to be a part of this. Yesterday, briefly on the 5 o'clock program, we shared about the story that's out about the elementary school here in Spartanburg, where a stand was taken by a teacher and a principal that I believe, that I don't just believe it, I know it. I know it was a correct stand that they took regarding a student essay or paper or whatever, regarding the subject matter of that, and telling the student that they couldn't share that in the class. And now there's a lawsuit against those people. And this is a type thing, this is one example, but it's a local example now. It's the type thing that's going on all the time now in this country because of an agenda that people are pushing who they may think they've got good intentions. They may speak of love and inclusiveness and things like that. And by the way, let me say this. We're not speaking that there should be discrimination against anybody. No matter what kind of lifestyle they choose to live, though we may know that it's unbiblical and it's not appropriate, that it's only going to result in harm for them. This is a free country. We respect their right to engage in whatever lifestyle they choose, but when that is pushed on other people as being the norm, that's where we have to rise up as the church and object to that and say, no, that should not be done. So many things like this are going on that will ultimately destroy the nation. And I know people would scoff at that and laugh at that and say that that's being, melodramatic and how can it destroy a nation? I'm going to tell you how. Because when the government of a nation embraces things like that, it will bring the judgment of God upon the nation. And all you got to do is go to the book of Genesis and read about Sodom and Gomorrah if you don't believe that. And you can try to explain that away and say, I've heard people say the people of Sodom and Gomorrah were just not being hospitable enough, and that's why God judged them. Come on, give me a break. Let's use some adult thinking and sense here. To understand what those scriptures say. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what was wrong in Sodom and Gomorrah and why God personally came down to judge those places. And so that's why I say that it will result in the ultimate destruction of this country. And also, we're destroying ourselves from within anyway, even without looking at the issue of the judgment of God. So I'm saying all that to say that that's the type of things we talk about on this radio station. And we don't spend it for people that would object to that and say, oh, you're spending too much time on these social issues and political issues. I wouldn't say we're spending too much time on it, folks, because for the most part, it only gets brought out on the 5 o'clock program, which airs just a couple of days a week. So if we spend a couple of hours a week talking about things like this compared to all the time that is spent otherwise, it's not a large percentage of time, but it's enough to try to get the word out to believers about where they should stand on these issues, and we try to always back it up with the Word of God. I don't want to just get on here and give my opinion or whatever the case may be. Now, I'll also admit sometimes I preach on these things, and when those programs air, the live church services or the replays, you're getting a little bit of it there as well. But we need to hear that today, I believe. And that's one of the many things we do. First and foremost, we're bringing you the gospel, the message of the cross. We're bringing you teaching and preaching regarding that, and then great anointed music. And then we do some of the things that I've just been talking about a little bit. And there's some new things coming that are going to be yet another more of a family type thing. And it's going to be very little time as far as airtime, but what little bit of airtime it is, it's going to be straight on. It's some things that people need to hear. So that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, and we want to hear from the Lord continually and know what other doors He's opening and what other things He's saying we should do over this radio station. But there are those of you out there, and you understand what I'm talking about, and you appreciate it. You appreciate it coming into your home, into your car, into your place of business, and that's why you've supported. I'm just going to ask that the rest of you who also have an appreciation for it, that you would do the same thing and give some support to this work during this radiothon. Did you have anything you want to say before we talk about T-shirts?
Just need people to start giving.
Right. Can you bring up the PowerPoint that I had from one of the radio programs last week? Because it's got, I want you to go to the Sound of Truth radio T-shirts, if you would, first. Because I don't want to spend too much time. These are T-shirts that Nikki has designed. And so I don't want to spend too much time doing a personal ad. I don't mean to do that. But I do want to show you these Sound of Truth radio T-shirts, because most of you out there don't have one. Now, a lot of folks in the church got one 4 years ago when we went on the air, because Nikki had a company print them up, and we got various sizes and colors and so forth, and most of those are gone now. We've got some still in the bookstore, right?
Yeah.
We've got a few left. But we decided to do like a reprinting, and we decided to use Amazon to do this, because the way Amazon works is we don't have to put out any money up front. Nikki just submits the designs to them, and that's what she's been doing with her other shirts that we'll maybe talk about a little bit in a minute. But mainly I want you to see the Sound of Truth radio shirt, and if you'll go to the next slide, that's the front of the shirt. And if you go to the next slide, I believe that shows them the back. On the back, it has 92.1 FM. On the front, it just says Sound of Truth Radio, and the back also has the website where people can listen online. And if those of you that are watching, as the graphic shows you there, we want you to visit Corbin Designs on Facebook, or you can also search on Amazon.com, but I don't think searching for Corbin Designs will really help you. You need to search for the name of one of the shirts, which are the shirt you've sold the most of, Nikki, is the Save the Babies shirt. So they can search for that shirt and then be able to go to Corbin Designs and see it all. However, is the new website up yet?
It's not. I
Okay.
I have started working on a website that is going to have a easy, quick link. I started actually getting it together yesterday, and when it probably by Monday or Tuesday I'll have it up. But it's not quite. But it's going to be Corbin-designs.com.
So Corbin, and then put a hyphen there, and
Yeah.
then designs, because Corbin Designs altogether was already taken.
Right.
So it's going to be Corbin dash or hyphen designs.com, and they can go to that website and then easily click one button that takes them right into Amazon
Yes.
to see all these shirts.
And it'll
Right?
show you all the designs. And so hopefully we'll have that up by Monday. So.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, so get you a Sound of Truth Radio T-shirt. No matter where you are, you can wear one of these shirts because, like I say, it's got the website on it, WXPSFM.com. So even if they can't listen on FM in the place where you live, because it's outside of Spartanburg, it's got the website on there, and they can tune into the website.
And I want
listen
to
that
point
way.
out one thing real quick, if it's okay. As far as the T-shirts go, so this is my personal business that I'm doing the T-shirts designs. But for the Sound of Truth Radio T-shirt, I did not mark it up at all to make any profit off of it. And you'll notice though the cost is the same as my other shirts, and that's because it's a front and back. My other shirts are just front, and so they cost me a little less, and I was able to. And I'm making profit off of it because it is my own personal business. But when I designed the church shirt, and if I do any other church shirts in the future, I look at that as that belongs to the church. It doesn't belong to me. And so, so it is priced exactly as it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, but even the church is not making any money off of
Right.
these shirts.
No.
It's just the cost of getting it printed by Amazon and them sending it to you is
Yeah.
all you're going to be paying. So we're not trying to sell these shirts to raise money for the radio station or for the church. We're not getting anything. It's all
And
going
we're not
to
taking any personal money out of
Right.
it. It's total, just the cost.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's the same price as my other shirts, but that's because it's a front and back design, whereas my other shirts are just front designs.
Okay, so front and back, and the one we showed you is the white shirt. Did I have another color on there that we could show, or at least tell us what other colors are available? I know there's
You have a blue
there's
here.
the baby blue. Let's bring that one up. If you don't want white and you want blue, there's the front of that one, and probably the next slide is the back of that one, I would think. Yep, it's got the design on the front and the back. Now we also have yellow and we have orange, I believe. Those are the 4 colors, right?
There's actually 5 colors, so
Oh, really?
I'm not
Okay.
sure. I don't
remember what the other color
I
is.
know I'm
then.
allowed 5 colors to choose
Okay.
from, so I don't
So
remember.
there's an array of different colors to pick from, and some of your shirts are available in children's sizes. Is this one?
This is, yes.
So you can even get one from, what's the smallest child size, like for a baby? Or a little bit bigger
I
than a
wanna
baby,
say maybe 2 to 3 or
Okay.
years
So-
old.
so-
And let me also say that they're also available in women's cut, meaning that usually the women's cut has a little bit lower neck and a shorter sleeve, and it's kind of cut like inward a little bit. Some women would rather just go ahead and get the men's cut because they like it looser. But if you do desire to have the woman's cut,
Okay.
they have that option as well.
So that's why we're using Amazon, is because if you think about it, if we came up with an inventory here in the bookstore to try to have all these different cuts and
We have to
sizes
spend
and
a lot of
colors,
money up front,
we'd
which
be
is difficult.
spending a whole lot of money, and then we wouldn't know if they're going to sell or not. We might end up with a stack of a certain size that nobody wants, or a certain color that people don't want. And so it's much better for you to order it on Amazon, and that way we're not spending money up front that we don't have, because we just can't do it. I mean, not only do we not have it, but I literally mean we can't do that. And so we'll make it available to you on Amazon, and those of you that have the Amazon Prime, you won't get it in 2 days because they literally print the shirts when they are ordered.
Yeah,
But it still
it's
comes
about
in
a
about a
week.
week.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad. So if you got on there and ordered one today, you'd have it by next weekend, probably by Friday or
Let me
something.
say, if you don't have internet and you want a shirt, we would be glad to order it for you, but you must come by the bookstore and prepay. Come by, prepay, tell us what size and what color you want. I'll pull them up on my iPad for you to look
Right.
at them, and we'll be glad to order you one and then call you when it comes in.
Yep. So it's not limited to just people that have the internet and know how to get on and buy things from Amazon, but we can help you out in the bookstore. You just need to pay in advance.
Yes.
So we can go ahead and get that ordered for you, and we'll call you as soon as it comes in. So again, the Sound of Truth Radio T-shirts is the main thing I wanted to mention there. I don't want to spend too much time with a personal advertisement, but I'm going to say this right quick. We do have the anti-abortion T-shirt that we've shown you some lately. Nikki has that available on the same Amazon page of Corbin Designs. If you can find that right quick and want to bring it up, that would be good. And yeah, let's bring up the pink one here that the ladies would like, but it's also available in multiple colors as well. I know it's available in a
yellow,
a
gray.
Yeah,
With two different kinds of grays.
Yeah, solid white maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's multiple colors there as well. And this, I know it's available in a child size because we had a lady post on Facebook a
Yes.
picture of her child wearing one of these.
Yes.
We didn't know she'd gotten one until we saw that picture.
Yes.
And so this one is in children's sizes as well. And then also we have, let's bring that one up. And if you can take the thing off the bottom of the screen, the donate graphic there, they can see my shirt a little bit better. Well, that's okay. We'll show the whole shirt there. This is my favorite out of all of them. This is the newest one you've done, I believe. And it has 2 Chronicles 7:14 printed on the front of the shirt. And the text is divided. It's got some at the top of the shirt, some closer to the bottom. And in between, there's a map of the United States. And it's red, white, and blue, and it has stars in the background. And it's got silhouettes of 2 people praying, one on one side of the map of the U.S. and one on the other side. And it's an attention getter. It's a conversation starter, no doubt. And I think you'll just be proud to wear it and let people know that you believe 2 Chronicles 7:14 about praying for the country.
For those who are watching, they can see yours now.
Yeah, they probably can't see it too well. The microphone is kind of in front of it here, but I've got one on. And we don't have one of these in the bookstore. You do have the anti-abortion shirt in the bookstore as a sample to show people. Maybe we can get one of these sometime as well, because a lot of people feel better if they see it in person. I think it makes a bigger impact on them than if they just see a picture of it. So this is the closest some of you will get to see it in person, is seeing me wearing it today on the video. But I want you to get you one of these if you can.
Right.
And wear it proudly. And when people ask you, well, what's that about? What's that a picture of? Oh, well, that's a map of the United States with pictures of people praying, because we need to be praying for our country. And a conversation may ensue that can really let you witness to somebody.
And just a reminder, if you go to Facebook, go to Corbin Designs, and you can click on the Shop Now button on there, and it'll take you to Amazon. You can see all the shirts.
Right. So you can go directly to Amazon, do some searching and find it. You can go to Facebook, look for Corbin Designs. That's an easy way. But the easiest way of all is going to be coming early next week, and that is Corbin-Designs.com. It takes you to a website. It's going to be a simple website with a link right into Amazon, so you can see all the shirts and all the sizes and colors and take advantage of it. Now, you've also got, we don't have any graphics of them, I don't think, to show here, but you've got several homeschool T-shirts, right?
Yep.
And anything else? I'm trying to think, is there something? You had one for Thanksgiving and one for Christmas, but those are seasonal, so people don't care about that right now.
I've got one for moms of many children.
Right. People that have large families, and you get some negative comments sometime about that, or questions or whatever. She's got kind of a humorous shirt about that. And but homeschoolers, especially if we have any homeschoolers listening, they need to go and check out the homeschool shirts as well.
Well, I know we got some more donations in and a phone call, so
Praise the Lord.
why don't you pull up a song so you can check on the phone call? And before we go into that song, I'll give the contact information again.
Okay.
Well, I'm thanking God for what He's doing. I'm believing more to be a part. We need to raise around $2,000 needs to be raised today. So we need you to start giving, whether it's $10 or $100, or even if you are led to give $1,000. We need to hear from you today. WXPSFM.com. You click on the donate link, and it will take you safely and securely through PayPal. You can give us a call at 864-327-8725. We are short-staffed today, so just leave your name and phone number, and we'll call you right back. You can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 864-507-9382. And when you do that, it will prompt you for your credit or debit card information. You can mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304. But if you're going to do that, let us know what you're sending so we can include it in today's totals. Or you can stop by. Again, because we're short-staffed, you'll have to ring the doorbell. But we're at 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg. And we'd be glad to come down and meet you and be able to receive your donation. So pray about it. Pray about what the Lord wants you to do. I believe He wants to meet the need, and He wants to use you to meet it.
Amen. Thank you so much, as she said, for all that's been done and what is yet going to be done in the next hour or so. Here are two guys that we think a lot of, and their mom and dad, too. They're a great family, the Taylor family from Charleston, West Virginia. They went down to Baton Rouge a couple of months ago and recorded a brand new CD with many of the singers and musicians that you see at Family Worship Center. Here's one of the cuts from that brand new CD, the Taylor Brothers, from their CD called Trust in the Lord, right here on FM 92.1 WXPS. Give this a listen. We'll be right back on the other side.
I've seen the lightning flashing and heard the thunder roll. I've felt sin's breakers dashing, trying to conquer my soul. I've heard the voice of Jesus telling me to still fight on. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. The world's fierce winds are blowing, temptation sharp and keen. I feel a peace in knowing my Savior stands between. He stands to shield me from danger when all my friends are gone. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. When in affliction's valley, I'm treading the road of care. My Savior helps me to carry my cross when heavy to bear. My feet entangled with briars, ready to cast me down. My Savior whispers his promise never to leave me alone. He died for me on the mountain. For me they pierced his side. For me he opened that fountain, that crimson cleansing tide. For me he waiteth in glory, he's seated upon his throne. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He's promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. Oh, he's promised never. He's promised never. He's promised never to leave me, and he'll never leave me alone.
Never alone. Lewis and Logan Taylor, the Taylor Brothers on FM 92.1 WXPS, and you are listening to WXPS LP, Spartanburg, South Carolina. It is about 10:59 a.m. Eastern Time, and welcome in. We're almost into hour number 2 of today's Radiothon, and that's hour number 6 in all. We had 2 hours on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and 2 today. We're going to be getting out of here at noon today. That means we got an hour left to see what else comes in to help us in this goal of the building fund. And as soon as Nikki is able to here, we're going to, I know of 2 of the donations that have come in. Is that it? Those 2? Okay, I can name those then. Before I do that, though, we had a phone call a moment ago, and it's one of our listeners and one of our supporters who was expressing thanks to the Lord for a touch on the life of her brother. She had asked us a while back to pray for her brother, and she was telling us in the voicemail she left that he's much better now, and giving the Lord praise for that. So we praise the Lord with you. And it's always good to hear good news about how there's intervention in somebody's life by the Lord to get them on the right track and have them where they need to be. And so I don't know of his spiritual condition exactly, but if he needs to come to know the Lord, if that hasn't happened yet, we're going to keep praying that he get the greatest miracle of all, and that is to come to know the Lord as his Savior, Jesus Christ. So we praise God for that. Thank you for that praise report. We love to hear, we love to take your prayer request. Our donation number that's on your screen right now and that we've been giving out to those of you over radio, it's our prayer line all the other days. But we use it as a donation line during Radiothon. But we also love to get the praise reports. It's great when people remember that when God does something, they had asked him for that. They had asked others to pray about that, and they're willing to take time to give the Lord the praise for that. So thank you very much for that praise report, and keep them coming, everybody. Keep the praise reports coming, please, if you would. I haven't taken any time this morning to observe the comments. I've looked at them, but I haven't said anything about them. Comments on Facebook Live today. Laura from the very beginning today said she was watching. And then we have some comments from Mike on here. We mentioned about his gift a moment ago. Thank you again for that. Melissa comments, Lord, send the funds over and above. And she says she loves the song that we just played by the Taylor Brothers. Now, a couple of more gifts to announce, and Nikki's going to get us some new totals up on the screen, I think, in just a minute. We have a $100 gift from Robert. And this is a man that I've never had the pleasure of meeting, but I've been told a little bit about him, and this is somebody that I want to meet one day. I doubt if I wouldn't think he'd be listening right now, but just in case, I want to say, Mr. Robert, thank you very, very much for continuing to support this church and this ministry. And because of the timing of this new gift of $100 from Robert, we're going to put that in our building fund total. So thank you very much for that. And then we have Gretchen, who is giving, what did you say, 15?
15.
Gretchen is giving 15, and she is not here in Spartanburg. She's in, is it the Charlotte area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's in the Charlotte area. We know her on Facebook, known her a while on there. But she was telling you recently, and then I think that's when it dawned on us that she's really pretty close in Charlotte. But she's going to be bringing her mother to see Brother Donnie in May,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and we need to talk about Donnie's meetings too this hour. She's going to be coming in. We're going to be looking forward. I don't think we've never met her in person, right? I don't think if she's ever been to something, I'm not aware of it.
No, she said she's never been to Spartanburg.
Okay. So great. We're going to get to meet her in person in a couple of months, and her mother with her. And so thank you, Gretchen, for the $15 gift that you've given to the Radiothon today. We appreciate it so very, very much. That brings our building total.
No, that doesn't bring it because there's another donation you didn't know about. But Brother Billy has given $50.
Pastor Billy, thank you, sir. Thank you so very, very much. Always faithful man of God. Let me. I'm assuming Pastor Billy is probably listening to me right now since he just gave. I was contacted by someone in the church yesterday who was mentioning Pastor Billy and saying that they said, I believe he's a pastor in Kentucky. And I said, yes, he is. I said, he's not only a pastor in Kentucky, but he is a man who preaches the truth. And I can't say that about every pastor that I'm aware of. I thank God for the acquaintances that we have that I can say that about, that preach the cross of Christ and preach a straight gospel message and don't compromise it. But Pastor Billy is one of those that I can say that about. And he supports this ministry off. And I tell you, the greatest support from Pastor Billy is the program he provides to us every week to air on Wednesdays at 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. because what a blessing it is. And that enhances our programming so very, very much to have him as a part of our cross preachers from around the world. But he also gives financially, as he's just done. And so, Pastor Billy, thank you very, very much. So I think you're telling me that the 100 from Robert, the 50 from Pastor Billy, the 15 from Gretchen, that brings us to the 408,
Yep.
right? All right. Now look at that, 408 in the building fund. That means we are almost 25% there toward our goal of $2,000.
You know, usually our Saturdays are very slow.
They are. And
But
you know,
today-
honestly, I dreaded to come in here because I was afraid nobody was going to
Yes.
call or do anything.
But today's been going good, so let's keep it going. Don't look at this as time to say, okay, well, people have given. Nope, we still need you to give. And if you're in Spartanburg, we're still not hearing from you. We're hearing from people all over the country, but not from you.
Now
So
we
we're
did. Now
asking.
Miss Joanne is in
Yes,
Spartanburg. We did,
yes.
so now we've got somebody on our
Yes.
list that is a Spartanburg listener. She's not able to attend church here at Truth Chapel. So she's one of those that we've been looking for to be a part.
But we want some more of you in Spartanburg to be
Yes.
a part of this. So
Yes,
go
we do.
online to WXPSFM.com and click on the donate link. Give us a call at 864-327-8725 and leave your name and phone number. We'll call
Mm-hmm.
you back to get your credit or debit card information over the phone. You can text the word GIVE, GIVE, to 864-507-9382. You can mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304, or you can stop by. We're at 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg. If you do that, please ring the doorbell because the bookstore is locked today. So ring the doorbell and we'll come and be able to receive your donation. So we need to hear from you. We're doing great, but let's not stop here. Let's keep it going.
Keep that momentum going.
Let's keep it going,
And
yes.
you know, Mike just stopped by, and he's a Spartanburg person
Yes,
too who
yes.
listens, but doesn't attend church here. And so there's at least two. You got to keep me straight here. I don't want to miss anybody, but I think we've got two on the list now who are Spartanburg people who are supporting this radio station, but they don't attend Truth Chapel. And so we that means we're making some progress here, and that's wonderful.
Yes.
So thank you. And let these two people that have done this be a motivation and incentive to other people, what they've done. Let it, giving inspires giving. So let that bless and encourage you, and all the giving. But it's great to hear from people right here in Spartanburg who are tuned in to FM 92.1, and I appreciate what's being done over the radio station so much that they're reaching down in their pockets and saying, I'm going to help out. I'm going to be a part of this. So can't thank you enough for what all of you are doing. And almost 25% of the way there, that's great compared to the 10% where we started today.
And this is really good compared to what we've been doing in the building fund for months now.
Right.
So I thank God for that. But let's not stop there. Let's keep going.
Amen. If somebody, and it could happen with multiple people as well, but to get us to that $2,000 mark, it may take somebody who says, I'm going to give $1,000. I'm going to give $500, something like that. But let's say if that doesn't happen between now and noon, I just imagine that there's enough people listening who haven't given yet, and we could all get together and bring us up to at least the $1,000 mark on that building total. We need to get to 2,000. We need 2,000. I'm not saying that we don't need the two. We do. But I realize it may take somebody with a large gift, and they may or may not be listening right now. They may or may not do it this time to get us to 2,000. But I believe the rest of us who are just middle-class folks can get together and say, let's get to the $1,000 mark and at least be 50% there by noon toward that goal. You know what? And I like this. Sometimes during the Radiothon weekends, we come in on Sunday morning and we have even more gifts to announce, to update our congregation and to update those over radio and over the internet, that the giving is even more than what we thought it was when we left out at noon on Saturday. But let's at least get to the $1,000 mark in the building fund by noon today. That's about 50 more minutes we've got to do that. And then we'll see where we get before tomorrow morning and give a fresh update during service tomorrow morning. By the way, why don't you just take time right now to invite everybody out to church tomorrow?
Yes, we have services on Sunday at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and we would love to see y'all. Yeah, I'd love to see y'all at either or both of those services tomorrow. Yes. We invite you to come out and be a part of it. What you get on this station is what you get in the services. Right. And so I think, it's getting like together with people. Listening is good, but when you actually are here to feel it, to experience it, the Spirit's the move of God, and it's so beyond words. So I'm going to encourage you to come out and be a part of services tomorrow at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Right. It's just like last Sunday, I didn't get to preach because the Lord began to move during the prayer time, I believe it was. And I know that comes across over radio, and it comes across to a greater extent if people are watching the video feed. But there's still nothing like being here because you're not seeing and hearing everything over radio or the video feed when the Lord's moving that way. And so being here, if you're able to, and some people can't because they can't get out or they're just not in Spartanburg and it's too far to drive. But if you can be here, I would encourage you to and see what the Lord wants to do in your life.
Right. Even the people who are watching, usually if they're watching, they may see us repeat a song several times, and they're seeing the song being repeated, but they're not seeing the people here responding, and they don't realize how it's impacting us here. And so it's different when you're here and you're a part of it. So
I think last Sunday though a lot of it was just the audio, and so they were seeing some of the response of the people here. But still, you can't. It's nothing like being. I mean, the thing about being here is you walk up and be a part of it. When people are gathering at the altar to pray and to worship, and even if you're not used to doing that, I'm going to tell you the Holy Spirit can give you liberty. If you're from a church background where normally that wouldn't happen during a service where people would begin to gather around the altar and worship and pray, but there'll be something that's just trying to lift you up out of your seat and get you down there, and you'll be so blessed when you do things like that. So nothing like being here. Thank God for radio. Thank God for the internet. That's why we're here today, is to raise money to keep this going. But if you can be here in person, I really encourage you to do that, and I think it'll be a blessing to you. I'm not talking about my preaching, because like I said, last Sunday was a wonderful service in the morning, and I didn't get to preach. That's fine. I don't have to preach. I want the Holy Spirit to move and have His way, and if preaching is a part of that, that's great. But if it's not, and if it's all worship and praying, which is what we had last Sunday, praise the Lord for that.
Yes.
Just come be a part of it. Come experience it and be a part. Let's talk for a minute about
the fundraiser.
The fundraiser and Brother Donnie being here in May. Let's talk about those two things.
Okay, well, coming up this March, we're going to have a fundraiser, and we need you to start ordering your meals if you're interested in coming and being a part of it. And it's a box lunch fundraiser. It's on Friday, March the 22nd. We're going to be selling box lunches. It's going to include 2 hot dogs, chips, drink, and dessert. And for $5, I think that's a good deal. And if you're in the downtown area, we will deliver. If you're not, then we ask that you come pick it up. But we need you to go ahead and register, because we don't need to make a bunch of plates that we don't actually sell. So we need you to go ahead and register for a meal. So you can do that by calling 864-585-3006, and we can register you for that. Or you can just simply go to the website, truthchapel.org. Click on the link to the box lunch page, and when you do that, you can register for how many plates you want, how much, what you want on your hot dogs and things like that, and what time you plan to get your meal, so we can have it ready for you at your time of you're ready for lunch. And so it's $5. So we're asking, if you can, please plan that Friday, March the 22nd. You're eating lunch on us, that you're going to come and support this ministry and support this work by coming and participating in this fundraiser.
And it's a great deal.
Yes.
$5.
Yes.
I'm sure you just named the 2 hot dogs, chips,
Yes.
drink, and homemade dessert.
Yes, but the only way to ensure you're going to get a plate is for you to pre-register and pay for your meal, and you can do that by calling us or going online, truthchapel.org, and click on the box lunch link. And when you do that, again, you can order your food, and we need you to start ordering now. So support, and I'm praying God to move mightily, and that we'll be very successful in that fundraiser, just as I pray for success with this radiothon. And don't look at it like, well, okay, if we only get 400 in the building and y'all needed 2,000, that y'all can raise the rest of it during the fundraiser. Well, we need the fundraiser to be above and beyond the 2,000. We need the fundraiser to pay off. Right now we pay minimum payments every month. We need to pay more than minimum payments. So we need the fundraiser to get us out of that, to get us beyond that. So we're asking you, would you be a part of seeing us go further? Now, notice today we're asking for donations, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever God lays on your heart. But that day, it's just $5, and you get a meal out of it. So you're getting something, but you're helping us too. And so we're asking you, will you be a part of that?
If you go buy a combo meal, which is a sandwich and chips or fries and a drink at a local fast food restaurant, most of them you're going to be paying $6, $7, $8 these days. And this is going to be more food than that. Homemade chili, homemade dessert, and you can have sweet tea, or you can get water or soft drink. Take your pick on that, and all that's on that website for them to select what they want. And so it's a good deal, as well as helping us out. And so we really appreciate you considering being a part of that. We're going to go, we need to check our voicemail and check any other messages we may have received to update donations again, if there is an update to be made. So let's talk about Brother Donnie's meetings when we come back after this next song. But let's go back to Joseph Larson's CD right now, which is called Give Me Jesus. And here's a song that you may have seen him sing at Family Worship Center, called 4 Men Walking Around. I think you'll like this if you haven't heard it before. If you have, you're going to like it again. We'll be right back on the other side of it.
Well, Daniel tells about a king who lived long ago, who built for all of Babylon an image of gold. Said a fiery hot furnace is awaiting for you if you don't bow and worship when I tell you to. Read on a little further about 3 brave men wouldn't bow to the idol, no, they wouldn't give in. So the king got mad and said, boys, you're through. Let's see if your God can deliver you. And they threw 3 men down into the fire. They were bound and cast in a flame that was 7 times hotter. It's all Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Who was that with them in the fire below? They threw 3 men in, but there were 4 men walking around. Now King Nebuchadnezzar saw that they weren't dead, and the fire hadn't singed one hair on their head. He said, I'm setting you free to worship as you wish, 'cause there's no other God who can deliver like this. And they threw 3 men down into the fire. They were bound and cast in a flame that was 7 times hotter. This all Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, who was up with them in the fire below. They threw 3 men in, but there were 4 men walking around. Tied your feet and your hands. Remember the story and the lesson we've learned. The ropes that tied them were the only thing burned. And they threw 3 men down into the fire. They were bound and cast in a flame that was 7 times hotter. This all Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, who was there with them in the fire below. They threw 3 men in, but there were 4 men walking around. Here to tell you that that's the kind of God that I serve. Well, that's the kind of God that I serve. It's all Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, but who was there with them in the fire below? They threw 3 men in, but there were 4 men walking around. But he's there when you need him, and you can stand upon his word. That's the kind of God. That's the kind of God. That's the kind of God that I serve. There were 3 men in, but there were 4 men walking around. Can do anything. My God can do anything. He's got the power. Oh, he's got the power. He's got the power. He's got the power. My God can do anything. My God can do anything. He healed the sick and he raised the dead. For 5,000 hungry souls he fed. He can make a way
He's got the power. My God can do anything. You agree with that?
Amen.
He can. Let me tell you what he just did. James is giving $200 into the building fund, so we praise the Lord for that. Got to have some applause for that. Yes, yes, yes. That brings us to 608 in the building fund. We're coming right along, just like I said.
And that's another Spartanburg?
It is. I'm glad you reminded me of that. That's another a person here in Spartanburg who is listening to the radio station, and he's going to be mailing in that gift. And he said, put it wherever you need it. I said, well, we're going to announce it right now and put it in the building fund then. $200. Thank you, James. It's bringing us up to 608 now in the building fund. That means a total of $2,208 has been given during this radiothon in the radio fund and in the building fund. So I'm believing we got 36 minutes left on here live, and I'm believing that we can get $392 more in the building fund to take us to that $1,000 mark. And I'd love to go beyond it. Please don't think that I'm limiting it to that. I'm just saying practically, maybe that's what we can do before noon, and then we'll see what else happens over the next 24 hours when we come in tomorrow morning and announce in church what our new total is.
Yes.
But thank you. Thank you, all of you, for what you are doing. This has been, I think, the best Saturday morning we've had in a long, long time.
Yes, it has.
Because like you were saying a little bit ago, it's usually kind of dead on Saturday mornings. And, nobody, even a DJ, a disc jockey, if all they're not raising money, but they're just coming in to play music. And if the request line is open or whatever, and I'm speaking from experience when I used to do this back in secular radio in the 80s. And, you just sit there, and back then I wasn't doing a 2-hour shift. It was between 4 and 6 hours usually. And if nothing is happening, the phone doesn't ring, nothing's going on, you feel like you're talking to a dead microphone and nobody's out there. I mean, it's kind of distressing. But then you add to that, if you're trying to raise money and you really need to raise these funds and nothing's going on, that can really be distressing. But you have helped us this morning, and we are not distressed.
Yes.
We're not distressed, but we're blessed. So thank you all so very, very much.
And we're very thankful for this help, because it really, it's difficult when you're trying to figure out how to pay all the bills, and when the radiothon did not meet the goals, it makes it very hard the rest of the month to try to figure out how to pay everything. And so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Amen. And
for those who haven't given yet, you still have an opportunity. We still need you to be a part. So let me remind you again, you can go to our website, wxpsfm.com, and click on the donate link. You can give us a call at 864-327-8725. Please leave your name and phone number, and we'll call you back, and we can take your credit or debit card information over the phone. You can text the word GIVE, GIVE, to 864-507-9382, and then you can use your credit or debit card to give that way. You can stop by. We're at 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg, but we are upstairs and the door is locked, so just ring the doorbell so we can know you're down there. Or you can mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. But if you're going to do that, also let us know what you're sending so we can include it in today's totals. And we need you to be a part. We're doing great, but let's not stop. Let's keep it going.
Amen. It's just about everybody listening knows, I'm sure. If they know anything at all about us, they know this. We're affiliated with Jimmy Swaggart Ministries.
Yes.
Our church is affiliated with World Evangelism Fellowship, and we air a lot of the programming from SBN on this station. And coming up at noon today, a little over a half hour from now, we switch over to SBN and bring you Generation of the Cross. So from time to time, we not only have them on the radio every day, but from time to time, we have some of them come into Spartanburg for special meetings that we're always so happy to have people come and attend the meetings who maybe they live here in Spartanburg, but they don't go to church here, but they come in for these meetings, or maybe they live somewhere else. We have people that drive hours. And as a matter of fact, I talked to a lady, I believe I told you it was somewhere in Florida a couple of weeks ago, and she was asking about hotels. And I believe she said it was going to be about a 5-hour trip. I know just if you go to Jacksonville, which is not far over the Georgia-Florida line, because we've been to Jacksonville one time, and I think it was about a 5-hour drive. Mm-hmm. So apparently she's not too far down into Florida. But that's a lot of effort that people, and it's a lot of money they have to spend. If you're spending the money on the gasoline and you're paying for a hotel for a night or two or more, as well as I'm sure they're planning to come and give in the love offering and so forth. That's somebody that's really committed,
Yes.
To the cause of Christ and wanting to get something in a meeting that maybe they just don't have the opportunity to get personally. That they watch SBN or listen to this station or whatever. They get it over the airwaves, and that's great. I'm so glad for that. Obviously, we're glad for that, or we wouldn't be doing it ourselves, and we wouldn't support SBN if we didn't believe in that. But to get in a meeting of actual live people there, you're in a room with other people. There's nothing quite like that. That's why the Lord said, "Don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together." I don't think that Scripture means that the Lord is holding it against those who don't have a good church to go to and they can't assemble. So I don't want people to. I took that the wrong. I took that, and I think in a wrong way for a lot of years. I felt bad about not attending a local church because I didn't have one that I was comfortable attending, but I was having church at home. So it wasn't that I was trying to be lazy, but still there was I felt like condemnation, not from that Scripture so much, but from other people that had a church. And they were like, well, if you're a Christian, why don't you go to church? Well, there's a lot of good reasons that people don't have a church to attend today, because there's just false doctrines and things they're not going to settle for. And I'm glad they take that stand. But when a meeting like this takes place, it gives people in Spartanburg the opportunity to come together. Like I say, even if they don't attend our church regularly, they're welcome to come. They're wanted. We not only welcome you to come, we want you to come. And then people from other places as well that are willing to drive in. And so we're doing that this spring with Brother Donnie Swaggart in May. It's May 24th, 25th, and 26th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Friday night service will be at 7. Saturday night will be at 7. And then we'll have Sunday services at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., our regular service times on Sunday. We know that more people are going to come in on Friday and Saturday nights than we can accommodate here at the church. And so we're holding those Friday and Saturday night meetings for Brother Donnie on the Converse College campus, which is also right here in downtown Spartanburg. And it's the Daniel Recital Hall. We finally got that finalized, got our deposit sent in, and so forth, so we can talk about that publicly now and tell you it's at the Daniel Recital Hall on the Converse College campus. Doors will open about an hour prior to service, so we encourage you to get there early. Don't get there 2 hours early. There's no point in doing that because the doors will not be open then. But we'll open them about an hour before the service starts at 7 o'clock on that Friday and Saturday night. That auditorium seats, I think it's about 340. Yeah. And the last time Brother Donnie was here, we had crowds of about that size. We have had crowds of about 300. We held those meetings at another auditorium in Spartanburg, but that location was not available this time. And so we were very happy to find this very great facility on the Converse College campus. There'll be plenty of parking right there on the campus. You won't have to walk very far. And so we encourage everybody to come on out. And then, like I said, Sunday morning, Sunday night, we'll be here at the church. And there's plenty of parking around here, not right at the church building, but there's plenty close by if you walk half a block. A lot of the parking lots around here are empty during church service times, and so you're able to use those. And so, what else do you want to say about it to invite people to come on out and be a part of this in May? There are going to be some great meetings, I know.
Well, I mean, I think just saying Brother Donnie's coming is
that says it all, doesn't it?
Enough. Yes.
Yep. This Brother Donnie, I believe, is one of the select few preachers in this nation right now who has the right message and has a nationwide and even a worldwide platform. Now, we know, I mentioned other pastors a moment ago, and we were privileged to know some great pastors who pastor churches. A few of them maybe are bigger than our church. Most of them run about the size that we do. Some of them maybe even a little smaller. But these men and women are preaching the truth. But Brother Donnie, being on the Sun Life Broadcasting Network and holding meetings around the world, he has a platform that most of us don't have. And so to get him to come to Spartanburg for a relatively small crowd compared to what he's used to preaching to is really a blessing. And those of you that know Brother Donnie's ministry, and I think everybody listening to me right now, I'm sure you do, you know what I'm talking about. And don't let the devil stand in your way, because I know how Satan will try to operate. He'll come up with everything. He'll try to throw the kitchen sink at you or something to keep you from coming. to these meetings. And don't just come to one of the meetings either. I know some folks tend to, well, I came one time and I got to see Donnie, and that's great, so I'm going to stay home otherwise. Don't do that. If you're able to come to more than one meeting, please do, because he'll be preaching a different message every meeting. The Lord will move in a different way, depending on what he's led to minister on. And so be at all 4 of these services if you possibly can. It's quite an opportunity. Brother Donnie hasn't been in Spartanburg since the last time we had him, which was probably at least 4 years ago, maybe something like that.
Years.
It's been a while. So it's a unique opportunity. Don't pass it by. Don't let it come and go without you taking advantage of it.
Actually, I'm thinking, was the last time we had him was Chloe was a baby.
Yeah,
so
that
she's
would have
about
been.
to be 7 this summer. So it's been.
So it's been about 6 years, probably.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and I don't know when Brother Donnie will be available again. We did try to reach out and to the ministry and get him to come previously, but he was doing the rallies last year and things like that. So last year wasn't a possibility at all. And then prior to that, I think he was just booked up at other churches. But they finally gave us a time that he could come, and it worked out with our schedule as well. And so, like I say, don't let it pass you by, but come be a part of these meetings, May 24th, 25th, and 26th, right here in Spartanburg, Friday and Saturday night at the Daniel Recital Hall at Converse College campus, Sunday morning at 10, Sunday night at 6, right here at Truth Chapel, 250 North Church Street. We need you to come be a part.
Yes, it's going to be a great weekend.
You're going to be blessed by it. You're going to be blessed. All right, what else? What else besides trying to raise a little more of this building goal that we have? We're at 608. 1,600 in radio, 608 in building. We need to get further along. Let's get to at least the $1,000 mark before noon. 25 minutes left to do that.
Yeah. I want to remind people again that next Thursday, this weekend we've been celebrating the 4 years of the radio station. It's actually next Thursday that is the 4 years, and we will be doing a special broadcast at 5 p.m. where we will be recapping what God has done with starting this station and the things He's done over the last 4 years. So if you've never heard us tell a story, please tune in. You're going to, I believe, be blessed by this next Thursday at 5 p.m., a special broadcast. But we would also like to invite you to be a part of it by calling sometime. You could call even during this program.
Right now.
Call 864-327-8724 if you want to be on the air live telling what this station means to you. Now, if you don't call within the next 30 minutes, that's fine. You can still call the other number, the 864-327-8725. Call that number and leave a message telling what the station means to you. We would take those voicemails and we'll put them together, and we would like to share them next Thursday to let people know what the station means to people who are listening. And I think it's always, you hear our voices all the time. You hear us a lot, and they will share the history and share what things God has done. It's good to hear from people who are listening, who are saying it's blessing me. And I think it could be a great, even greater presentation if you're a part of it. So pray about that. Pray about what you'd like to say. Just call and leave that voicemail, and we'll get those together and be able to share them. And I think it will encourage the people. And plan to listen Thursday at 5 p.m.
Right.
Listen to hear what God has done with this station, with starting it, with the last 4 years, and prayerfully we'll have some testimonies on there as well. People saying what it's meant to them.
Yeah, let's hear from some people right now who have given in this radiothon, and even those if you haven't given. And we're not. By the way, when you call, pardon me, when you call to say something over the air, we're not going to say, hey, don't you want to donate? We're not going to embarrass you or do anything like that at all. We just want to hear what the radio station means to you. So call right now, 864-327-8724, whether you've donated or not, but especially people that have donated. They've already stepped up and said, essentially, that the radio station means something to them, or they wouldn't be putting their hard-earned money into it. And so give us a call right now. Let's take this next 20 minutes and do phone calls. I'd love to see the phone just light up one call after another. And let us hear from you. We're going out over our website and over social media, so it's being recorded, and we'll be able to use your phone call again next Thursday during the special program. But we'd love to hear from you right now. It'd be a great way to close out this radiothon is by hearing directly from you and putting you on the air, and let you maybe encourage other people by what you have to say and encourage other people to give as well.
Right.
Keep in mind, once again, we're at 1,600 in radio, 608 in the building fund. The radio goal has been met. The building fund goal, we're about a third of the way there. And so if we could get at least to the $1,000 mark before noon, that would put us 50% of the way there. And then there's a television goal as well of 260. If the phone doesn't light up right now, maybe we can talk about TV for a moment. The television goal of 260, Nikki can explain why that is there. And if we get anything in that, that's great. If not, we'll bring it up again next month and try to get moving on the television ministry that we feel like the Lord is telling us to get busy doing.
Right. As for TV, we have, well, while we were moving, and let me say this for those who are wondering about the building fund, because there may be people listening who are wondering why we're raising money for our building fund. So I'm losing track of my time here, but let's see, what was it, September? What was the year?
I don't even know now. So it was September. We got started on the renovations about September of last year. Yeah.
Okay, so over a year ago.
No, wait, no. I'm sorry. September of 2017 we got started.
Yeah.
Because we moved in last summer.
Yeah, 2017. Well, prior to that, we felt led to look for a place downtown to move, and we looked at many locations, and some were very cost prohibitive. Some had, and this was had quite a few costs involved in it, but some were even more so. And this one we found, and we were able to talk to the owner and come up with an arrangement that we thought would work well for us. And we needed to do some renovations here, but he gave us time to do that rent free and things like that. And so we worked out a deal with him. And so that September we started working here, and our church people worked hard. We worked so hard.
Yes, they did.
At giving of our time freely, coming here week after week. Scott and I were here on mostly a daily basis, and the rest of the church was here usually on Saturdays all day, or Fridays and Saturdays, sometimes even other days of the week, and doing as much of the work as we could so that we didn't have to hire other people. But there were things we did have to hire out. We had to get the roof replaced. We had to get heating and air, some of that replaced, and
about 3/4 of it replaced.
And we had to do some other things.
A lot of electrical work.
A lot of electrical work that had to be done. There was electrical here, but there just had to be some things brought up to code and fixed. And so all these things added up to over $50,000. And we were able to pay for it through a mixture of donations, loans, and credit. And also, let me say, we also hired a construction worker that did some things that we were unable to do. And he worked at a minimum charge. He was very, very kind in his what he charged.
Yeah, we were able to buy carpet very inexpensively.
Yes, we were.
Which was a great
We
blessing.
did all that we could to make it as affordable as could. But we did all that because we knew, one, that God had told us to move downtown, and two, because we needed a facility that would provide the space that we needed to do more, to expand the ministry. And part of that was to be able to, and we said this all along, that when we got downtown, we wanted to be able to go on TV. That in our previous location, we didn't have room for our TV studio set. So what we had to do was, anytime we recorded TV programs, which we were on TV years ago, but we would have to set up, record, tear down, set up, record, tear down. And so it was so time consuming, it was very difficult to do that. And so when we agreed that when we got here, we were going to have a space in the building that would stay set up, and it'd be as simple as coming in and recording and being, not having to worry about setting up, tearing down, setting up, tearing down. And we have that. We have you can't see it, but it's right actually across the room from me, a place where a table with some chairs where we're able to record some programs, and we have been recording some things, getting some things together. We have another area that isn't quite set up yet, but we're planning on putting a couch and a chair over there for another set. So we're going to have actually two different arrangements for recording TV programs. And then we've been talking to different you got to tell me the correct word, different networks, different stations. I always say the wrong thing, and he corrects me for it. So I'll just ask him up front, what is it?
Local TV stations.
We've been talking to different stations about what it would cost to be on their stations. We're looking at eventually starting a 30-minute program on one particular station and hope to expand to several stations at some point. But we're also looking at doing a 1-minute kind of a devotional on another station that it will be airing during their news time in the morning, and it would probably have a lot more views than maybe some of the other stations. Even though it's only 1 minute, it would be 1 minute that we would spend doing the best we could at getting the gospel to the people, but it would be a time frame when people would be watching the news, and therefore a great opportunity that was set before us, and we're excited about that opportunity. But we can't pursue it until we know we can afford to do so. Or I say we can't pursue it until we can afford to. We're praying God make a way. If we can pay all the other bills, we'll step out and believe that this bill will be met too. But we've got to know we can pay these other bills. And as you see, we're doing great. But we haven't met the building bill, so we need to meet it. We need to meet the expenses that were involved in renovating this building so that we can proceed with getting on TV. And before long, our television goal is minimal right now, but that television goal will grow as we are able to go further onto more stations. And prayerfully, our TV viewers will also begin to be a part of giving during these I don't know if we'll still call them radiothons or share-a-thons because, as we're expanding what we're doing.
I mean, we'd have an opportunity for them to give on every TV program. At the end, we would say, we need your help, and hopefully they would begin to give on a regular basis.
Yes, but we need people. Yeah, the thing is that instead of thinking, okay, I'm giving to the radio or I'm giving to the building or you're giving to a ministry that is doing everything it can to reach people in every way, whether it's from having the doors open for a church service, having the bookstore doors open, and we've had people come in just to be prayed for, just to receive from whoever's working because they are just hungry for that.
And we've got volunteer workers. We're not paying anybody to work, so very few. I get a salary for pastoring the church, but otherwise. Nobody, I mean, you at times you're able to get a small salary, but otherwise it's volunteers. It's people that love the work of the Lord that are opening that bookstore and being there to pray for people.
So you're giving to the church doors being open. You're giving to the bookstore doors to being open. You're giving to a prayer room that is open also when the bookstore is open, as well as before and after services. You're giving to this radio outreach. You're giving to the TV ministry that's going to come about. You're giving to everything that we're trying to do, the things that are going out over the internet. I've been making recordings of videos, and I've been putting them on Facebook and sharing them with people, ministering the gospel. All these things you're supporting. You are supporting that by, you're supporting the work going forth from this location, from this ministry. And so if you say, wow, y'all are doing everything you can to get the gospel out there, what can I do? Well, you can donate. You can pray. Yes. We need your prayers.
Both, yes.
But you can also give financially and be a part of that, realizing, there's a song that's been popular since I was a teenager called Thank You for Giving to the Lord. And I remember it talks about basically, giving of offering. There's a part about that and how it touches lives and how the song shows a person in heaven being thanked for their part of them receiving the gospel. How many people will come to you and say, thank you.
Right.
Thank you for what you did. Thank you for giving to that radio station. Thank you for giving to Sun Life Broadcasting Network. Thank you for being a part of that because I'm saved. I'm here in heaven because you gave.
Amen.
And you may not know it here on earth. You probably won't know it here on earth. But one day you'll see all the people. You'll have eternity to see all the people that were impacted because you were a part of giving. So we're asking you, we only have a few more minutes. We're here. But let me also remind you, even when we go off the air, please don't think, it's over. But realize you can still give, and we need you to give. We need to meet the needs so that we can proceed with whatever other opportunities lie ahead, including television, as we've been talking about. Again, let me remind you, you can give by going to WXPSFM.com and click on the donate link. You can give us a call at 864-327-8725. And we can take your credit or debit card information over the phone. You can text the word give to 864-507-9382. You can mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304. But if you're going to do that, let us know what you're sending so we can include it in today's totals. You can stop by. We're going to be leaving in just a few minutes, but we're at 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg, and you can drop off your donation that way. So we invite you, somehow, some way, get in touch with us. Get in touch. And we even say it kind of jokingly, but we're really honest about this. If you even need us to come pick it up, just let us know. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. If you want us to come by and pick up the donation, we'll be glad to do that as well. Just get in touch.
Amen. It's been very encouraging
Yes.
this morning that new people have reached out, and that's what we've been asking for. We were just so grateful for
Yes.
the donations that came in early. A lot of it from people in the church, some from viewers online, and but we said we've got to hear from people here in Spartanburg. We've got to hear from this demographic group that we're spending money to deliver this over the FM airwaves, and we've heard from a few this morning. It's encouraging. We haven't heard from as many as we'd like to, and as I think we eventually will, but it's a step in that direction for this radiothon, and we're so grateful for that.
And that's an encouragement to the church people, because as they are giving and giving and giving, there may come a point where they say, what am I really giving to?
Is it really doing any good?
Is it really accomplishing anything? But when they hear from you, when they see the results, then they say, oh, well, it was good that we helped and supported that, because it really is touching people. It really is making a difference. So it's an encouragement to them as well, that they are indeed doing what's right by supporting this.
Right. And I was just thinking, the gentleman Robert, who we had a $100 gift from, I think he has a couple different places he resides, but one of those is in Spartanburg. So he's in Spartanburg. So if we add it up, it's now like 4 or 5, I think, in Spartanburg who don't go to church here. And that's an increase from 0 that we started out with this morning. So we're so thankful for that. I pray that the day is going to come, for whatever time that the Lord tarries and leaves us here to do this work. I hope and pray there's going to be such a change in the spiritual atmosphere in Spartanburg that we are able to not only do what we're doing now, but we are able to even hold events. I'd love I would love to do some events that are patriotic and the gospel together. But we know of a lady that you became not acquainted with, not personally, I don't mean that, but you have been aware of her ministry for a while. We found out the other day she's based out of Charlotte. And I would love to have people like her come for special events and it just be packed. But when people have the opportunity to come to something like that, whether it's a lady like her who's a conservative Christian activist, or if it's somebody like Brother Donnie coming who's an evangelist, just to pack out whatever facility, to need to rent the Spartanburg Auditorium that holds 3,000, that holds 3,400 instead of 340.
Yeah.
I would love to need to rent that auditorium to hold some of these events, and for it to be primarily attended by people in Spartanburg, knowing that everybody's welcome, and there'll always be people come in from other cities, but people in Spartanburg to support it. And we're not there yet, but just taking a step in the direction of hearing from more people this morning supporting this radio station, that's a step in the right direction. And it's encouraging to us to keep doing what we're doing. And we know that it's needed. We know what we're doing is needed out there. And we admit other people could do a lot better job of it. I don't know why God called us to do it. And he may call other people to do the same thing, and that's great. You can't get too many. But it's an encouragement to keep doing what we're doing. We know that it's needed, but we've got to know that it's received as well as need. Need is one thing, but to know that the answer to the need is being received by people is something else entirely. And that's what you've helped us see better this morning, as well as giving your money. It's just been a spiritual encouragement. So thank you very much for that. And folks, the best is yet to come.
Yes.
The best is yet to come for what God. It's not about what we're going to do. It's about what God is going to do. And he'll use willing and yielded people to be able to do his work. And I thank the Lord for that. It's encouraging. There's great days that lie ahead for the church. There's some challenges, but there's great days ahead. Let me read these comments here and see if there's anything we want to share while you say something, please.
All right. Well, again, we're going to be going off the air in just a few minutes, but I want to encourage you. Please pray about giving. We're at 608 in the building fund, and our goal was 2,000. So we're still a ways off, but God is able to meet every need, and I believe He will continue to move upon hearts. I believe there's going to be people who still come up even after we go off the air and say, you know, I really feel like I was supposed to give to that, and I'm going to. We're praying. We're praying. I want to remind you again, we're praying that God is going to send us, and somebody's ringing the doorbell, hon. I don't know if you can get that right this moment. But I'm praying.
If you take me off camera, I'll get up.
I don't know if I can do that and talk.
Well, let's just quickly finish this out, and then we'll start a song. Okay.
I'm praying that God is even going to bring us someone soon who's going to be able to help us pay off these debts with thousands of dollars. And maybe you're that person. I don't know, but maybe you are. But no matter what gift you're able to give, I pray that you do what God tells you to do. Be obedient to the Lord. And even as we go off there, please pray about how you can be a part and give today.
You're listening to WXPS LP, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Thank you all so very, very much for everything that you have done. We're going to go see who wants to visit the bookstore, so we're going to go ahead and sign off now, take you out of here with a song by the Taylor Brothers, and Generation of the Cross is coming up next.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. No turning back. No turning back. My cross I'll carry till I see Jesus. My cross I'll carry till I see Jesus. My cross I'll carry till I
Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Cross before me, the world behind me, the cross before me. This old world is behind me, the cross of Jesus before me.
You're listening to WXPS LP 92.1 FM in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
No turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. Turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided.
This is the Generation of the Cross with Pastor Gabriel Swagger. The Generation of the Cross is brought to you by Crossfire Youth Ministry at Family Worship Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pastor Gabriel Swagger, and welcome once again, as always, to Generation of the Cross. We're so glad to have you joining us today. And we have joining us once again Brother Bob Cornell. Brother Bob, glad to have you.
It's good to be here, as always. Thank you, Gabe.
And we're actually going to, I asked him to come back to pick up where we left off a couple of weeks ago. It was not planned. This was something that was not planned. But when we began the program, we began looking at the Reformation. It just happened organically, Spirit-led, I would say. And so I've asked him to come back to update us, to give us a little bit more information regarding the Reformation. This particular movement is absolutely necessary for us as Christians to know. Now, I'm not asking that we should know every detail about the Reformation, but we should have a working knowledge regarding the Reformation because of what we have today. It's led to what we have today. And I was so thrilled when Brother Bob began to explain for a short period of time, the Reformation, the beginnings of the Reformation. So we're going to just go ahead and get right on into it. I'm going to introduce Brother Bob once again, and I'm just going to let him go. We dealt with Martin Luther. We dealt with a few other names regarding the Reformation. We dealt a little bit with the 95 Thesis. But for the sake of the new viewers that are just tuning in today that did not see the last program, what were the 95 Theses? What did they entail, and what was the result of Martin Luther posting his 95 Theses on the door in Wittenberg, Germany?
Well, let me say this as a way of introduction somewhat. We, like you said, when I was talking about this a few weeks ago, I was unplanned, so I didn't have it fresh on my mind. I was just pulling from memory a lot of things. But I want to say this first of all before I answer your question, that when we talk about history, a lot of times the first reaction of people is they're not interested, or sometimes it can be that way. They distance themselves from it. I think personally, it's just my personal belief, that it has been an effort of Satan to disconnect, especially this generation, from history, from what's happened in the past.
Right.
It's that way in the world, but it's also that way in the church. Again, I'm going to say that it's been an effort of Satan to distance our generation from what God has done in the past. And if there is a view, any view of what's happened in the past, it's viewed in a negative way, or we view it the negative things that have taken place. But history can be defined in a very simplistic way, in this way. It's God's story. It's his story.
Right.
And really the Bible is really God's story from Genesis to Revelation, God's story of redemption.
That's right.
But when we take a look at the Reformation, we're talking about an event that happened about 500 years ago. It began officially in 1517, October 31st of all days, 1517, and it was when Martin Luther, who at that time was pretty much an obscure, unknown nobody, a monk,